high-tech space technologies in space. What is common among all of these things? They were all launched using rockets, right? So let's learn few things about rockets. So when you say rockets, obviously it is made up of many different parts. Let's discuss some of these parts one by one. First part is the nose cone. The topmost part of the rocket is called as the nose cone. The nose cone, there are many functions of this nose cone, which includes, first of all, it protects whatever is inside the whatever satellite we are about to send or humans we are about to send into space. And the main function is also that it creates an aerodynamic shape for the whole rocket, and it just cuts through the atmosphere and goes into space. It creates a stability for the whole rocket, right? So as we discussed that this nose cone protects a satellite or humans, which are called as the payload. So payload is just any satellite or whatever object we want to send into space. Then we have the propulsion chamber, as the name suggests. It propels the rocket upwards. Here the combustion of the fuel happens, and hot gases are released from the propulsion chamber, and it propels the rocket in the towards the sky. Then we have the main body where the fuel is stored. And lastly, we have the nozzle from where hot gases are released out of the rocket, and it helps the rocket to move forward. So there's a question also, as I pointed out, there's a nozzle over here. Can someone point out where is the nozzle after this? Other than this, where is the other nozzle? Well, it's below this propulsion chamber. Okay, let's see. How does these rockets work? So we discussed that these rockets help the payloads to go into the sky, all the satellites, space probes, all these things. But how do they work? They work on a principle which says that every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This principle is called as the Newton's third law of motion, which means that whenever there is an action, for example, in this case, as you can see in this animation, that the air inside the balloon is being released from the balloon. That is an action. And the law says that for every action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. And the reaction here is that the balloon is moved forward. So the action is happening in this direction, and the reaction is happening in the opposite direction with the same force. And the same thing happens with the rockets also. Just the difference is that in case of rockets, the action is the hot gases that is combusted out of the rocket, and the reaction is the rocket moves towards the space. Okay. The same principle from because of which the balloon, as we lose the balloon, it flies off. The same principle applies to the rockets also that helps us going to space. Right. So that was about how rockets work. But they carry are these satellites of two types: artificial satellites and natural satellite. Artificial satellite, as the name suggests, they are artificial or man-made satellites which humans have sent into space to revolve around the planets. Or natural satellite, as the name suggests, which are naturally made objects that revolve around other objects. For example, our moon. Our moon is the natural satellite of Earth. It revolves around Earth, so it is a satellite. Or our planet also, it revolves around the sun. So is that a satellite? Tell us in the chat box. Okay. So these artificial satellites, let's discuss about these artificial satellites. They are made up of many different parts, which are science instruments, power source, the communication systems, and the orientation finder. What are all these science instruments? Obviously, whatever objective is for the satellite, either cameras or GPS or any other scientific instrument that can collect the data. Power source or the solar panels that will help the other scientific instruments to work. The communication devices which will help the satellite to communicate with the Earth or the people that are controlling the satellite, and the orientation finder which helps the satellite to remain in a particular orientation. So obviously, all of these things are given in a lot more details in the book. So you can always refer the book to study more about the satellites and all the other topics that are going to be asked in the exams. Okay. So let's talk about some of the famous space missions which these satellites have. So does someone remembers this image? Does someone knows what this image is about? What is this object? These are some of the missions that changed the world. And this particular image, this is of Sputnik 1, the very first artificial satellite that humans sent into space. And this was launched on 4th October 1957, and this created history. After this, we launched many other satellites, and this was where everything started from Sputnik 1. And obviously, after Sputnik 1, also, we had many other famous missions that changed the entire world. For example, Voyager 1 and 2. Voyager 1 was launched on 5th September 1977, and Voyager 2 was launched on 20th August 1977. And these are the only two man-made objects that have crossed the boundaries of the solar system. These two objects are outside the solar system, and these are the only two objects that are there outside our solar system. It's a huge deal. But not just Voyager, we have very famous the Apollo missions that obviously changed how we study about the space. Okay, so these Apollo missions, obviously the most famous Apollo mission, which was the Apollo 11, which was launched on 16th July 1969, which became the first mission which helped humans to walk on the surface of moon, another celestial object that is not Earth, right? But other than these Voyager Apollo missions, we have some Indian missions also that are very important. For example, the Aditya L1, which was launched on 2nd September 2023, which the main purpose of which is to study about our sun. There are a lot of mysteries still related to the sun that we don't know about. And this Aditya L1, the whole mission is to study the sun and to know more about the sun, how it works, what is the space weather because of the sun. And it is situated at a special point between sun and earth called as L1 or the Lagrange point. Okay. Then we have the Chandrayaan missions, obviously very important and famous missions. The Chandrayaan 1 mission, which happened on 22nd October 2008, which helped scientists to tell that there is the presence of water on the surface of the moon. Then Chandrayaan 2 mission, which attempted soft landing on the surface of the moon. And the Chandrayaan 3 mission, which successfully landed on the surface of the moon on 14th, which was launched on 14th July 2023. Right? But these are the missions which were very important, but there are future space missions also that are going to be very important. For example, the Gaganyaan mission. Gaganyaan mission is the very first mission from ISRO, which is about to send humans into space. The very first mission from Indian Space Research Organization. Then we have the Artemis mission, which will send humans to the moon, but this time to stay over there. So this will make humans return to the moon. And the Chandrayaan 4 mission also, which will help scientists to gather the lunar soil and bring it back to Earth. And these keep your eye on the future space mission. These are going to be very important and crucial missions, right? So let's discuss some of the questions that are very important for your upcoming exams. Okay, so let's see the first question. This says, So everyone can start solving this question. This says that the sun is approximately 150 million kilometers away from the earth. The speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second. How much time does light take to travel from the sun to the earth? So all of you can solve this question and tell us in the chat box. Okay. A hint that this equation, speed is equals to distance upon time, will be used to solve this equation. We already discussed that how much time does light take from the sun to reach earth, but this is how we will solve it. Okay, so let's see how we'll solve it. So speed is equal to distance upon time, everyone knows this. So distance it is given, it is 150 million kilometers. Speed is given as 300,000 kilometers. So we just plug in these values in our equation. So it becomes time is equals to distance upon speed, where the distance is 150 million kilometers, speed is 300,000 kilometers. Zero zeros will get cancelled out, and it will be 500 seconds. And when we convert this seconds into minutes, it will be, we have to divide it by 60, again zeros will cut out, and it will be approximately 8.3 minutes or approximately 8 minutes. So in the starting, remember, we discussed that light takes 8 minutes from the sun to reach earth. This is how we calculated it. Okay, let's see another question. The diameter of earth is approximately 12,800 kilometers. The diameter of Mars is about 6,800 kilometers, and the diameter of Mercury is about 4,800 kilometers. How does the size of Mars and Mercury compare to Earth? Is Mars the half the size of Earth and Mercury is one third? Or Mars is two third and Mercury is one third? Mars is half, Mercury is two third? What is it? So how do we solve these type of ratio questions? Okay. So the relative size of Mars relative to Earth can be solved using this formula, that the diameter of Mars divided by the diameter of Earth, and the size of Mercury relative to size of Earth can be solved by dividing the diameter of Mercury by the diameter of Earth. Okay, so we just have to plug in the values, the diameter of Mars, the diameter of Earth, and we will get a ratio of 2/3. And obviously the diameter of Mercury and the diameter of Earth, which is 4,800 by 12,800, we will get a ratio of 1/3. So the size of Mars relative to Earth is 2/3, and the size of Mercury relative to Earth is 1/3. So the correct answer will be B, that the Mars is 2/3 the size of Earth and Mercury is 1/3 the size of Earth. Okay. These are the questions that will be important for your upcoming exams. Then you will get more type of questions. For example, the graph questions, where you will be interpreting the answers by solving or looking at the graphs. So for example, in this question, we have asked that based on the bar chart, determine the planet which has more than 40 moons but less than 120 moons. So how do we solve this? So for solving a bar graph, you just make one straight line. For example, if you have to measure how many moons, the number of moons is on the y-axis and the planets on the x-axis. So to know the number of moons that, for example, Uranus have, we'll just make a straight line from the y-axis, which gives around 25, 26 moons. Or if you have to know how many moons Jupiter has, again a straight line, which comes around 95 or 96 moons. Or if Saturn, which comes more than 140 or approximately 150 some moons. So which moon has more than 40 but less than 120? It is Jupiter. Okay, everyone understood how we will solving the bar chart type of questions? Just draw a straight line from the y-axis. Okay. Then another type of questions that you will get are these pie chart questions. For example, in this question, we have asked that this pie chart shows the composition of Earth's atmosphere. So this gas A, which are labeled as A, it is 78% of the total atmosphere of the sun. This gas B is 21% of the total atmosphere of the sun, and this gas C is just 1% of the total atmosphere of the sun. And in this question, you have to tell that which gas was represented by B. So, which is the second most abundant gas in our Earth's atmosphere? It is oxygen. A is nitrogen and B is oxygen. Nitrogen is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere, and B, the 21% is the oxygen. Okay, so these are also some type of questions that you will get in the exams. Then you will get some of these image-based or assertion reasoning questions. In this, you have to tell that there is an assertion given that we see phases of the moon because of Earth's shadow on the moon. And the reason for this assertion is given as that phases of the moon form because of the revolution around the Earth. And here you have to tell that are these both assertion and reasoning correct? Is Are these both assertion and reasoning incorrect? Only assertion is correct or only reasoning is correct? Which of the four which will it be? Okay, so assertion is given as the phases of the moon is found because of Earth's shadow on the moon. Well, this is incorrect, right? Phases of the moon is not formed because of Earth's shadow. It is formed because of the revolution of moon around this Earth, and because of its own spherical shape, right? So only the reasoning is correct. So the fourth option, that only reason is correct, will be the correct option to tick. All right. And you will also get some GK questions, some general knowledge questions in the paper. For example, about the Artemis mission, like the Artemis mission, which will return astronauts to the moon, is named after. Was it an Apollo, god Apollo's twin sister? Is it one of the moons of the solar system? Is it a landmark feature of the moon? Or is it named after the goddess of exploration? So these type of GK related question will also come in your paper. The answer to this particular question will be that the Artemis mission is named after god Apollo's twin sister. That's why we call it as Artemis. Okay, so these are the type of questions and an overall view of what is about to happen, what will be the your test about, and some of the questions that you can see in the exams. Okay, so that was all for the masterclass. So over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, Garvit sir. So that was quite amazing. We got to understand too many things. And guys, sir only gave you an overview. Detailed informations are actually present in your books. So get your books, read them, ace your exam, all the best. But before we go, let me quickly, everybody was asking how we can access the NSC account, how we can get credits. I will again show you each and every step as to how you can actually get the credit. So basically, you have to buy credits with a real money so that you, if you don't have any, so that you can buy your books. Again, all of you, without spamming the chat, whoever was doing it, I could see so many students are there. That's amazing that all of them were giving correct answers for all your questions, sir. So that was nice that they are prepared. So that's great, guys, everyone. But now all of you just listen, no spamming in the chat. Okay. So what you need to go do for accessing the content, you need to go to NAC on the top. Can you see this is there's a button on the top as NAC. You click on that, and as soon as you click, your content will be visible to you, right? This is all the content. Also you can do is you can do a small search. NAC. So whatever is related to NAC will come in front of you. So this is also an easy one. Just do write in search NAC and you will get all the material that you need for your this thing. All right. So as you know, these NAC contents are of 41 credits. Okay. So all right. So how can you get the credits, guys? Listen here carefully. So just along with the shopping, you can say shop, there is a bucket which have coins in it. Okay. So coin represents credit. So what you need to, this is also clickable button. So you click on this button, and it will open up a top up, just like you recharge, like for example your data get over in your phone, you recharge your phone, right? Similar way, these are the top-ups that can help you recharge your credit. So you can have 75 credits, you can buy 50 credits, you can get 25 credits accordingly how much you want. You can buy credits from here. Now this is one way. The second way is always a better way, where you can actually upgrade yourself so that you get plenty of credit. You don't always have to, buy top-ups. You can just upgrade your plan. And once you upgrade it to especially to supernova, like the plan I have, I can easily buy so many things